So, with Backlash being this Sunday, and we're going to have the greatest match ever, I figured it's time to take a look back at a past installment in this pay-per-view series. So I decided to take a look at Backlash 2005 edition. Now, why would I pick this? Well, he told me to. That's right, brother. Okay. He said I had to pick this one. And just remember, you told me. Okay. So, the two big matches on this card were Triple H versus Batista for the World Heavyweight Championship, and Shawn Michaels and Hulk Hogan versus Muhammad Hassan and Daivari. Those are the two heavily, promoted ones. And all I gotta say right now, before I really get into the big review, is that I felt like the Hogan match, specifically the ending, I felt like he had a lot of input into it, and that fits into what we were supposed to get, didn't get. SummerSlam. We'll get to that. I'll deal with the aftermath of both sides of that match when we get to that match. But for now, let's talk about WWE Backlash 2005. So the pay-per-view starts off with an Intercontinental Championship match. By the way, this is a Raw exclusive pay-per-view from 2005. Just keep that in mind. It's all Raw. So we got Shelton Benjamin versus Chris Jericho. Shelton Benjamin is the defending Intercontinental Champion. And it's a decent match, and it goes to prove that WWE hasn't really changed much when it comes to endings to matches, because even back in 2005, Vince McMahon still wanted to use the most devastating move in all professional wrestling, the surprise roll-up, because there are back and forths and quite a few walls Jericho put on, and Jericho went through the walls. They would do flippity do back and forth, and finally Shelton Benjamin was able to roll up Chris Jericho, get the 1, 2, 3, and yeah, that's how it ended. I was like, really? That's the first match of the card? You're gonna end it like that? Okay, there's an interview with Edge where he says he's going to beat Chris Benoit later on in the night in the Last Man Standing match. Okay, we'll get to that. Next is a Tag Team Turmoil match for the World Tag Team Championships. You don't know what a Tag Team Turmoil match is. It's two teams come out, they fight, and they go to the pinfall. Once that team is eliminated, another team comes out until all of the teams come out, and the winner of that match is the World Tag Team Champions. So, the Heartthrobs, which I totally forgot, they came out, I'm like, who the fuck is that? And they're like, the Heartthrobs. I'm like, oh, yeah, them. Yeah. Guess they're not that memorable. I don't remember who they are. And then next was William Regal and Tajiri, who were the tag team champions. From what I can remember, it was William Regal and Eugene were the tag team champions. But Eugene got injured, so Tajiri replaced him. That's from what I can remember. Regal and Tajiri won, and then out came Simon Dean and Maven, which was an interesting pairing. I didn't even know that was a thing, but they were eliminated, and then it was William Regal and Tajiri versus La Resistance, and La Resistance eliminated them, which means we're gonna have new tag champs, and out came Hurricane and Rosie, the SHIT, who's now full superhero sidekick, and Hurricane and Rosie won. Basic, it was decent. And then we had the Last Man Standing match, Chris Benoit versus Edge, and Edge won after. Okay, so it's the Last Man Standing match, and the whole story here was that Benoit wouldn't stay down. Very Benoit thing to do back then. And he would try spear, he would try several things, he would not stay down. So finally, Edge picks up his Money in the Bank briefcase, goes in, pulls out a fucking brick, and bops Chris Benoit in the back of the head, and that keeps him down. I guess you gotta do what you gotta do, right? I don't know. Kane then talked to Lita in the locker room. And then we had Jerry Lawler, very weirdly, was out talking to the Raw Divas in the ring. I guess they needed a filler segment. Then, of all people, Chris Masters, the Masterpiece, comes out. And then to do a Master Lock challenge with a woman who was disguised as a man. I don't know. I got the end of it. I was in the bathroom taking a piss. Okay? I was in the bathroom taking a dookie. Okay? And I heard I heard JR say, "My God, that's a woman." I'm like, "What?" And I come out and and there was a hat that was laying on the thing, and I'm assuming she was in disguise as a man. I don't know. I missed it. So happens when you take a dookie, you know. We had Viscera with Trish Stratus outside the locker room. Then we had Kane with Lita versus Viscera with Trish. And this was before Viscera, gotta be like sort of right before Viscera did the Warlord's Love Machine, because he came out with wearing all black. So this was before he became the world's largest love machine. But like, there was a cool part of the match though, where Kane was bopping Viscera into the ring post on the outside, and Trish came up with a chair, and Lita took her crutch because she was injured or something, and whacked the chair, knocking it into Trish's head, knocking it down, and Kane just kind of looked at her, and Trish smiled. Kane won, of course, after a chokeslam, and then afterwards, Viscera, like, got to smash, but not in that way. He smashed Trish Stratus, literally, just smooshed her. She's a pancake. Okay, here we go. Shawn Michaels, Hulk Hogan versus Muhammad Hassan and Daivari. Where did this start? Where did it come from? Well, I think you could say it started at WrestleMania 21 when Muhammad Hassan and Daivari were out because Eugene came out to talk about WrestleMania, and Muhammad Hassan and Daivari came out and bullied him and stuff, and out comes Hogan to save him. And then, so now this whole story, and we'll get to this, because I have a problem with the ending of this match. Okay? Nothing against Hulk Hogan, not really. I just have a problem with the end of this match. This whole thing, because they showed a one of those, video packages. And this whole story, it was Shawn Michaels' story. Shawn Michaels wanted a match against Muhammad Hassan and Daivari, but Eric Bischoff wouldn't okay a handicap match. So that has to be a tag team match or he doesn't get a match. So Shawn Michaels reached out to Hulk Hogan and said, "You're the only one I want to be my tag team partner. Do this with me." Hulk Hogan said, "Yes, brother." And they had the match. Now, this match, not too bad. Actually a pretty good match. But, like I said, what I have a problem with the ending, but there was quite a few parts that was pretty cool. But I do have to complain that this was Shawn Michaels' story, and most of the stuff we saw in the match, like most of the big moments, really had to do with Hogan. To be honest, there's one confusing moment really where Michaels is on the outside of the apron, and like Hogan pointed to him, and the people were cheering, and like Hogan's like, "Okay," and so Shawn Michaels puts his boots out, and he smacks, I don't know which one it was, Daivari or Hassan, into him. And I guess that counted as a tag because Michaels came in just fine. I guess that counted as a tag. I don't know. But like I said, a lot of big moments where Hogan was. Like there was one where Hogan had Daivari on the outside, right? And he pulled some dude's Hulkamania hat off, put it on Daivari, and then punched him in the face. So was Hogan pretending he was punching that fan? I don't know. That was kind of... He just pulled the hat off the fan, put it on Daivari, and punched him in the face. I was just like, was he pretending to punch the fan? Because that's what it seemed like. I don't know. So, then Hogan, Michaels became the main man. And of course, for some reason, they had to make it look like, they can't make Hogan look bad, apparently, because they had to have Michaels be the one who's being choked out by the camel clutch. And he's going like this, and he wants to tag in. There's even one point when this is happening, that Michaels is trying to get in, and Hulk Hogan grabs Earl Hebner and smacks him in the back of the head or something. I don't know what it was. He just grabs him. He's like, smack him in the back of the head. I don't know what he was trying to do, but it was kind of funny. He's just like, and Emerson's like, hey! And yells at him, and then like, I don't know. Well, eventually, Michaels is able to get out of it. He gets to Hogan. Hogan becomes Superman and wins the match. And that's what I have a problem with. It was Shawn Michaels' story. Shouldn't he have been the one to get the pinfall here? Shouldn't he have been the one to end this match? It makes more sense for Shawn Michaels. I mean, it was his story. It was his storyline. He wanted to have the match against the two, and he needed a partner. He chose Hogan to be his partner. He didn't choose Hogan to wrestle the match for him, to win the match for him. He chose Hogan to be his tag team partner. For all intents and purposes, Michaels should have got the pin in that match, not Hogan. And I think that leads into the big problem with their SummerSlam match, which we'll talk about here in a minute. Because it's all convoluted here. So, after this, they bring in some fat guy who's wearing a Hulkamania shirt. They rip both of his shirts off because he has a Hulk Hogan tattoo. Again, this was Shawn Michaels' story. Why are we finding some guy with a Hogan tattoo? It just doesn't make sense to me. No wonder he got kicked in the face a couple weeks later by Shawn Michaels. He was still in the spotlight. In the contents, if this is what the story was going for, then fine. And sorry to say, I'd have to agree with Shawn Michaels in this one, because it was Shawn Michaels' storyline. Hogan was taking the spotlight, and in the end, he did. Because what I'm going to do now is, because this was basically the end of the match, I'm going to go and I'm going to do the aftermath of this, because there's two different sides to this. First and foremost, Muhammad Hassan storyline. He was actually in line for a big push. After this, he got drafted to SmackDown. He was in line for a big push. He was going to beat The Undertaker in Great American Bash, which would earn him a world title shot, and he would become the world heavyweight champion. He was set to defeat Batista, for God's sake. But sometimes you make it, sometimes you don't, and sometimes they give you storylines that TV channels say no, we got their finger to, because they started a storyline where he was coming after The Undertaker, and he was using these terrorist-like people to do it. And in doing this, what happened was they attacked The Undertaker, and they picked up, it was Daivari versus The Undertaker one-on-one. And Undertaker destroyed Daivari, of course. Then these terrorist-looking guys came out and attacked The Undertaker, and then picked up Daivari, all four of them, and walked them out. UPN saw this and said, no, you can't do this. You cannot do the storyline, you have to stop it right now. Which put a halt. UPN is the channel that SmackDown was on at the time. Put a halt on any future storylines with Muhammad Hassan. Instead, he lost at he wasn't even on TV before the Great American Bash for the next 2 weeks. He was off the TV after that thing because of what happened. He lost at the Great American Bash, didn't receive a push. He was gone. Completely gone. And that was the career of Muhammad Hassan. I know he does some... I know he came back to wrestling like in Indies and stuff, but the other side of that, though, Hogan versus Michaels... So, what Vince McMahon actually wanted to do was have a 3-match story with this. He wanted 3 matches. And Shawn Michaels was supposed to win the match at SummerSlam. But Hogan, and in his defense, he was in his 50s at this point. Hogan said, no, 1 match, and I have to win. So, as a result, the SummerSlam match that they had at SummerSlam 2005, by the way, I'm telling you this because that's not the one I'm going to cover when SummerSlam comes around. But the match is hokey. It's stupid. With Shawn Michaels constantly overselling everything to the point where he Irish whip him into the corner and he'd flip over the damn thing. It wasn't a match, it was a circus. For God's sake. And Hogan won. And that even went on to affect the next year's match as well, because he was supposed to he went on to have a match with Randy Orton in SummerSlam 2006, which Orton was supposed to win. But once again, Hogan said, no, I have to win. And that was that. So, yeah, I'm not trying to talk bad about Hogan, but if he would have cooperated, some things might have been a little bit better. And that's where I think he had something to do with the end of that. I think, it was Shawn Michaels' story. He was supposed to get the pinfall, but Hogan said, no, you want me in the match? I have to win the match. That's just what I'm saying. No offense to anyone who's a Hulk Hogan fan or anything, or no offense to Hulk Hogan himself, but that's just how I feel. So, then we got Christian coming in the ring. We had a Triple H interview, and we had Christian coming in the ring talking bad about John Cena. And I thought about this. Why is he talking bad about John Cena? He's like, I caught the end. I really didn't pay attention to what he was saying, but I just caught the end where he said, John Cena. And I'm like, why is he talking bad about John Cena? At this point, John Cena, maybe he's talking about being drafted to SmackDown. I don't know. But John Cena wasn't even part of Raw yet. The draft hadn't happened yet. So I don't know why he was talking bad about John Cena, because it wasn't until the draft happened that John Cena, I think Vengeance was the one where they had, because after this, John Cena would have the match at Judgment Day, was it the Last Man Standing match? Really? No. No holds barred, false cut, whatever match against JBL. So, I have the thing, I can look it up. But now we got Batista versus Triple H for the World Heavyweight Championship. Or Batista, it should be Triple H versus Batista, because Batista's a champion. But anyway, yeah, so, yeah, this whole thing is Triple H. He did that interview with those little mutton chop thingies, talking about how I'm going to game him, and I'm going to beat Batista. So we start a match with Ric Flair coming out, for some odd reason. Why they got his own entrance, I don't know. He should have walked out with Triple H, but he came out by himself. He introduced Triple H, maybe that's why. And then Triple H came out, and then it was like, ding, 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 the following contest for the World Heavyweight Championship as Batista's coming out. I'm like, I always hate when they do that. It's all so confusing. The match itself was alright. Not as good as the WrestleMania one, but it was alright. When going back and forth and stuff, and there was a point where Ric Flair got in the ring. Was being held back by, Ric Flair was constantly interfering, of course. Ric Flair, got in the ring, and he was being held back by the referee, who was Mike Chioda at this point. Mike Chioda, and he was holding him back. And Triple H had the World Heavyweight Championship. Batista picked him up for the Batista Bomb, and Triple H whonked him on the head. Just whopped him on the head with it, and then kicked it out of the ring. And I'm sorry. I know this is scripted, but an idiot fan on the outside decided this was the time to take his phone and take pictures of it. Now, I know this is all scripted. I know it's a thing. But Triple H illegally hit Batista with that title. Wouldn't you think that pointing your camera phone at it and taking a picture of it is going to draw the referee's attention to where he sees, hey, what's that doing over there? And think something suspicious? I know it's scripted. I know. You keep saying it's scripted. Shut the fuck up. I'm just saying. That fan's an idiot. For God's sake. And he does it forever. He's just like, It's forever. It's distracting to the match. I'm trying to watch the match. All I see is this dumbass going, trying to take a picture of the belt. I'm like, give it up already! Or take the picture! What are you doing? That's all I see. And I didn't see the finish, because once again, every time I use the bathroom, something happens, okay? I had to pee. I go to the bathroom, and I come in, and then I see Ric Flair's passed out. Triple H is yelling at the referee. Okay, I saw this part. Hold on. The referee's knocked out. Triple H trying to get the pinfall. Referee is out. And he's shaking the referee, threw the referee out, trying to get the pinfall again. Referee's still not moving. He comes out and he yells at the referee. And then Batista hits a Batista bomb. 1, 2, 3. And Batista wins, and as Batista's leaving, Triple H picks up Mike Chioda. He hits him with the pedigree, as if it's Mike Chioda's fault. It's not his fault he got knocked the fuck out. And then that's how it ends. Ric Flair's passed out, as per usual. And you got Triple H just Batista, while Batista's holding the title like this. You know, it's alright. The main reason I want to do this is because of the Hogan-Michaels match. And if I knew, I knew there was something behind the Hogan-Michaels thing. But, in watching the match, I don't know if it's true, but it's just something that that I thought of. Like, especially after I saw that package at the beginning of before the match, where I'm just like, this was Shawn Michaels' story, but Hogan is the one that gets the pinfall. It doesn't make any sense to me. But all in all, this was pretty good. I enjoyed it, but it's wrestling. I enjoy wrestling, except for lately. But yeah, so what are your thoughts on Backlash 2005? Let me know in the comments below. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Thank you for watching. I've been Scotty. I'll see you in the next one.